guys, it is Jess. Welcome back to my channel. So this is the second time I'm doing this voiceover. The first time I got like 10 minutes in and then my mum started calling me and she actually invited me out for lunch and she paid. So I was like, heck yes, I'm gonna stop this voiceover and go have lunch with my mum and my sister. And I feel a lot better now actually. I'm, fed, I'm full, feeling good, I've had a coffee. So yeah, I think it's probably good that I was interrupted because I'm just a lot more alert now. And we actually went out for lunch because my sister is studying nursing and she passed her exam. So congrats to her. Anyway, this particular house is actually kind of loosely based on a picture that I saw on Facebook. I can't even find the picture now. It just kind of like popped up on my feed and then can't see it anymore, so sorry about that. But yeah, that's kind of like what it's based on. Yeah, there's a lot of landscaping in it. I did cut some of it out because the video was like really long and a lot of it was just kind of messing around with the landscaping and the garden and the exterior of the home. So there is some of that cut out, but I think that you probably would have been a little bit bored if I left it all in. So anyway, I do actually have a bit of a story to tell, so I'm going to tell that story while the house is just starting off because I don't have a whole heap to say about the build quite yet. So I figured now'd be the best time to tell the story. So I think it was not like the Monday just gone, but Monday before that. It was Memorial Day long weekend in America, and we actually had a long weekend here in Australia as well, which I don't know, I don't think that happens often. I think it was just a big coincidence because obviously we're not going to have the same public holidays or anything. So it was America's Memorial Day long weekend, and in Australia I believe it was Reconciliation Day on the Monday, so that's why we had a long weekend. All of our public holidays in Australia are on a Monday. I think sometimes oh, actually, that's a lie. Like, most of the public holidays are on a Monday unless they're, like, date specific. So, like, Christmas and Easter. And we have Anzac Day. They're the ones that aren't on a Monday. But, like, public holidays that they've kind of made up that aren't based around, like, a particular date, we always have them on a Monday. So, at my work, we're still open on public holidays, so we can choose if we want to work or not. If we don't work, that's fine, and if we do work, we get like an extra leave day to make up for the fact that we worked on a public holiday. So I took this public holiday off because I really wanted to do some sim stuff. I had like some videos I wanted to record, some houses. That's what I was looking for. Some houses that I wanted to build, and I had planned to sleep in until about 10, get up and just like sim all day. Like, that was my plan. It was a Sims day. So that morning, my husband, on Monday morning, he was like, oh, I'm going to go for a bike ride because he mountain bike rides. And at about 10 to 10, I get woken up to a phone call, and I see it's my husband calling. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And the first thing he says to me is, look, everything's okay, but, and I just went, oh no. Like, when someone says to you, like, everything is okay, but, everything is not okay. It's like when people call you and they're like, look, no offense, but, no, honey, you're about to offend me. Just say it. You know what I mean? Like, when people preface something by being like, look, no offense. Look, I don't mean to be mean. No, you do mean offense. Yes, you are going to be mean. So just get to the point. So I just said to him, what have you done this time? Because he is very clumsy. And there have been heaps of times where he has just been, calling me from work because he's cut his hand, or calling me. I mean, he had a mountain bike crash like a month ago. So very clumsy. And I just said to him, what have you done this time? And he's like, well, I dislocated my shoulder. And I was like, no. And I was like, okay, like, how bad? And he's like, yeah, pretty bad. I dislocated it, and then when I moved my arm, it went back in again. So I was like, oh, it's okay. But then it popped back out again. And I was like, so it's popped out twice. He's like, actually, it popped back in and then it popped out a third time. And now I don't think it's popped back in properly. And I was like, oh my God, this can only happen to my husband. Seriously. So he fell off his bike, popped his shoulder out, and then it popped out 2 more times. And the last time it wouldn't go back in properly. So it was a little bit out of place. So that meant that we had to go to the hospital. We had to go to the emergency room, and on a public holiday, emergency rooms are so full, like, because the problem is that people that would usually go to the doctor or, you know, like, okay, like the doctor, because the doctors are closed or more expensive, they'll just go to emergency instead. And then people who would, we have this thing called the walk-in centre, which it's run by nurses. So the problem is that you can't really be diagnosed with anything, and it's kind of useless. Not that nurses are not useless. I just mean nurses by law, like, they're not allowed to do a whole heap of things. So you can go to the walk-in centre and they can be like, yeah, I think you have this, but you need to see a doctor to get this, this, and this. So it's really just, I think the walk-in centre is just good for, like, really minor things if you need some stitches or something. But this walk-in centre was also closed on the public holiday. So emergency was full of, like, I'd say a third of the people probably really did, you know, need to be in emergency. A third of the people had, like, a cut. And then a third of the people probably had, like, a stomach bug or a cold and should have just been going to the GP. But because none of those things are open, they end up in emergency. So it was just full. It was packed. It was ridiculous. And then, like, I felt really bad being in emergency because my husband had, like, a dislocated shoulder, which in my opinion is not really an emergency, but you have to go to you have to see a doctor right away. So anyway, when we first of all saw a nurse, and she was like, yeah, your shoulder's not in right, you're gonna have to get that like put back into place. And he was like, oh crap. So luckily, in the 3 hours that we actually had to wait to see the doctor, it had just kind of popped itself back in. So they did an x-ray and it was all fine. But the doctor was like, you need to see a physio, because the problem with shoulders is that, like, you know, just because it's back in now, there could be, like, other problems. So he's had to go and see the physio, and he potentially is going to need, like, an operation because it popped out so many times. So yeah, that's not the best news, because he's also a mechanic. So he kind of needs to use his arms, and he needs strength in his arms, and he's up, you know, doing car stuff. So the whole point really though of this story was that this week I've been a little bit, like, low on videos because I missed out on that, like, pre-recording day. So I'm kind of, like, back on track with everything now, sort of. Today I've had a day off work and I'm, like, really focusing on just, like, doing sim stuff. Next week I'm on night shift, and I usually have, like, heaps of extra time on night shift. So I'll be doing I'm focusing on base game builds next week. So that'll be good. So yeah, I'm not telling this, like, you don't need to be like, oh my God, I hope your husband's okay. He is fine. He's just a clumsy idiot. I love him, but he's a clumsy idiot. It was more just like, my weekend was ruined. What a third world problem. Because we'd actually planned to have coffee that day after his bike ride, and he was like, this is not the kind of coffee I planned to have with you, because we ended up just sitting in emergency drinking coffee. So, you know, it was kind of funny. But yeah, so my whole point is that I've been, like, just really slack with videos this week, and that's just why I just kind of had, like, that sort of thing happen. And yeah, so I am sorry. I try to have, like, 3 or 4 videos a week, but this week I think there's only going to be 2. I think that this will be, like, this week's last video. I put one up today or yesterday, and then this will be, like, the other one. So apologies that I've just kind of been a bit not posting as much, but that's the reason why. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that now because I can actually talk about the build. So this backyard I really, really liked. I think I've mentioned in other speed builds that I've been watching, like, a lot of builders do their backyards and stuff, and Ziminstead does really good backyards. So I was trying to, like, kind of do a similar backyard to hers, and I really like kind of filling the backyard up with a lot of like stone, like the pavers and stuff, and then just putting some plants around. I feel like it just makes it, I don't know, it makes it look a lot better in my opinion, because I feel like if you just have empty grass, it looks kind of funny in The Sims, which is a shame because in real life, you have, like, I don't know about you, or maybe not so much anymore, but we had a really bad drought in Australia, like, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, I don't know. But before that drought, everyone had these beautiful green lawns and just, like, an open backyard that was just a big lawn and all the kids would play in them and stuff. But ever since the drought, we don't have those so much anymore. I think people just got fake grass and never bothered to go back to, like, real grass. But my whole point is that you have a lot of grass in backyards, but in The Sims, I think it looks better to do it just with like lots of pavers and stuff. And I've just rambled on about grass, so now we're into the kitchen. Whoopsies! I tell you what, I can ramble. But anyway, I really liked this kitchen. It was something a little bit different, and basically this whole house, I feel like this is what I would describe as OG Jess. So it's just very neutral with the blues. It's just, this is like me. Because I've been trying to go a little bit more like out of the comfort zone, and I was sort of building this house and I was like, oh, I feel like a more relaxed build. I just want to do what feels normal for me. So I ended up just doing this build, and it was actually one of my quicker builds, or it felt quicker anyway, because it was just, you know what I mean? Like, you have that style and it's just a lot easier to build in your style. So this is like OG Jess, and it felt good to build it. So nice little cluttered up kitchen, and I have been putting these like the coffee machine or the tea machines in builds a little bit more. I used to never put them in there because it annoyed me that you can only put them like on one certain spot on the counter, and it's always a really annoying spot. But for this one, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start decorating around it, and I think that it looks good that way. I still really wish that we could move those like coffee machines and stuff so that they weren't like fixed to a certain position. But hey, you know, I think we've worked around it. We've worked around it. Yeah, so in case you can't tell, I think that like the Parenthood pack is one of my favorite packs for like clutter items and kitchen stuff. And then I've also got the Jungle Adventures fridge in there, which I love. I think it's just the cutest stinking fridge ever. I absolutely adore it. And I don't think it's a very jungle adventure-y fridge, but I'm really glad that it came with that pack anyway, because it's a good fridge. There is some good furniture in that pack. Yeah, so the layout of this house is definitely a little bit weird, but I don't know, I really like it. I guess it's still kind of different. I think that for me, I have like a decorating style that I really go to, but as far as like the floor plans and shapes of a home, they change around a lot because it just depends. Like for me, I usually build the house and then I just like fill the floor plan in after. Then again, it depends on what kind of build I do. I did a tutorial mentioning like another way to build a home. But sometimes I just build the home and then do the floor plan. Other times I do the floor plan while I'm building the outside of the home. But anyway, yeah, so I was just trying to fill in like the extra little spots in this kitchen because I don't like empty walls in kitchens. So I try and put like decorations and stuff. And I was just really trying to make that shelf work. Because I really like it and I like the clutter on the shelf. I wish that we got little like chopping boards like that as well. It'd be cool if they had like separated clutter as well. Like whatever clutter comes on the shelves, if it was separated, that'd be really awesome. But this is like the living area, and I don't know if I mentioned this. I've obviously done the whole floor plan off camera because I don't know, I recorded everything for this build, but it ended up just being way too long. So I cut out the floor plan. But this like area here is like the living and dining area, and then you have the kitchen. So that's what I mean. Like there's actually not like a whole lot of living space. It's all just kind of like one big open planned area, but it was just kind of the way that the house turned out. And I think it's got 3 bedrooms. So I think if you had a house this big, you'd probably want to have a little bit more like living space, or have like one separate, you know, like a separate lounge room or a separate dining room or something. But it's just, you know, didn't turn out that way, so whatever. Yeah, but I still like this, and I put that little pop of orange in there, which I don't usually do, but the lounge that I used actually had that like orange cushion on it, so I thought that the little pop of orange with the lounge chairs just kind of like it fit in pretty well. Yeah, and I'm just trying to find something to put in that corner there. I do sometimes find it hard to furnish like either side of a TV cabinet, because I don't know what it is. There's always that like empty corner space, and it's just hard to fill in sometimes. But I end up going with the like that cat plaything, which means that at some point I also have to put in the cat bowls, and I do that a little bit later on in the build. I really think that the pet pack has been really good, because if you don't know what to put somewhere, you just like chuck something from the pet pack in, and it turns out really, really well. But this is where I do in the dining room, so it is kind of weird that you'd probably walk like straight into the house into the dining room. I don't really think I can think of any home where, oh yeah, not really. I I think, excuse me, most like houses probably aren't like that. Like apartments and townhouses and stuff, I'm sure you'd walk straight into a dining room, but not like a normal home. But it's The Sims, so whatever. And I really like how it turned out. And it was kind of, the dining table was the only thing that was going to fit there. So, you know, it's just how it is. There's not a lot of space to like walk around that dining table, but I did play test it and it worked in my game. So, you know, hopefully it works for you guys as well. Just playing around with the lights here. I do have a lighting mod installed now, and sometimes it makes things a little bit too bright, I have found, but overall I really, really like it. So if you download this house, it's probably not going to be quite as bright. So that's why I just keep those saucer lights in there, because I think that's how you're going to get the best brightness in your game if you don't have the lighting thing that I have. So I've got this downstairs bedroom here, which is like the master bedroom. I've had a few requests in the past to like do the parents' bedroom and ensuite downstairs instead of having all the bedrooms upstairs. I think someone mentioned to me that if you have the vampire pack installed, usually the vampires, if they break into your house, they'll go to like the first bedroom, which is like the downstairs bedroom. So people were wanting to put the adults in the downstairs bedroom and keep the kids upstairs, and it kept them like safer from vampires and stuff. So I have sort of taken that into consideration and started putting bedrooms downstairs a little bit as well. And I like the way it turns out. And then I thought, you know, all the kids can be upstairs and be noisy in their rooms and stuff like that, and the parents aren't going to get annoyed. But yeah, just doing my little, you know, bedside table clutter. And that little lamp that I have next to the bed, I've only just started using that, and it is like the best stinking lamp ever. I love it. And I'd never really used it until just recently, and it's one of those things that has been in the game since day dot, and then all of a sudden you realize it for the first time and you're like, oh my god, it's amazing. So yeah, just cluttering up what's that thing called? The dresser? Yeah, the dresser. I always put the same sort of clutter on the dressers because it's just, I don't know, what else do you put on a dresser? I actually don't. Do people have dressers anymore? Because the thing is, I think most people have just cupboards that they put their clothes in, because I think I don't know about where you guys live, but there are certain requirements for a bedroom to be considered a bedroom. Like, I think it has to have like natural light, and it should have like a walk-in robe or something like that. So pretty much most bedrooms that you have in homes, they all have those walk-in robes. So I don't think I really know anyone that just has a dresser. And then if they do, I can never think of what to put on top of a dresser. So I always find that really, really hard. But we're not even in the bedroom anymore. We're in the study now. So I did this little study kind of just at the end of the house, in this little like kind of random room. I feel like if you wanted to make this a sitting room, or you could maybe make it a little bit more of like a skill building room, you could put like a chess table in there. This room is pretty versatile in my opinion. You could also close it off and make it like a kid's room or a toddler's room. I thought that would be a pretty good idea. Make it like a little nursery or something. I just went for a study because I feel like it's sort of a generic thing. And if there's a computer in a study, you don't necessarily need to have a computer in every bedroom. I do like having computers in a home, so I put it in that little end study room. And then I figured, you know, you guys can do whatever you want with that. So we're just filling in this little hallway area. Hallways are always hard to like furnish, I think. And I really wanted to put that fish tank there, but I just feel like that fish tank is too big. And I don't understand why everything in The Sims has to be so big. And you can't size that down because it doesn't size down like the inside of the tank. So I ended up I do keep it there. I'm like 99% sure that I do keep it there. But I just, like extend that wall as you just saw. And like it fills in the space really well, but I really would have just loved like a thinner fish tank, or even like a one tile fish tank that we used to have in the, I think it was The Sims 2 that we had one tile fish tanks. I don't know. I'm sure I could get some CC for it, but I don't really like normally building with CC. But anyway, I need to stop going on about the fish tank. And I also, moved that little corner cabinet, and now I'm watching back. I wish I left the corner cabinet as it was. I do that sometimes with builds. I just sort of like change something, and then when I'm doing my voiceover, I'm like, oh, it looked better before. But yeah, this is the kids' room. So this is like one of the biggest bedrooms, so I decided to make it twin girls' room. And you will notice that because of the roof, when you do like that kind of A-line roof style, you kind of end up having some of the roof wallpaper coming into the house. And don't get me wrong, it's pretty annoying, but I think that you can usually make it work. So fortunately it was like that blue sliding, and I think that it worked really well, and it matched the other wallpaper. So I think that it does look okay. If you didn't like that, you could definitely change the wallpaper, but you'd then have to change the exterior wallpaper as well. So it'd be up to you. Feel free to, fiddle around with it and come up with something different. But this kid's room is like super cluttered, super colourful. I just wanted it to be like messy twin girls who, just like think about your bedroom when you're a kid, you just want a little bit of everything. So I was going for like cluttered, messy, bit mismatched. I put a few little things in here, like as you can see, like the perfume and the nail polish, because I thought, these are probably like young kids, but that age where you're not like a kid, but you're not like a preteen yet, just kind of that, you're just starting to maybe get into a little bit of like makeup or nail polish, but you're still like really into playing with like toys. So yeah, I do think it is kind of weird how you go from like a toddler to like a 9-year-old to like an 18-year-old. I really wish that there was just some age in between the kid and the teenager. So you have like, kid, and then you have like that sort of like preteen, maybe like, I'm trying to think like grade sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, and then grade 9 onwards or something. I don't know. But anyway, I think that you can just kind of like decorate around what you think the age of the kid is. So yeah, I do like the way this bedroom turned out. I love all the colours, and I don't know, I feel like it looks really cozy and warm, and I don't know what it is. I really like this bedroom. I do kind of wish that the wall wasn't so annoying. And it's also really hard to film in this room because the wall is so high at the back there. It just keeps on like moving the camera around, like just then. But, I've worked around it, I think. So sorry if this part's just like a little bit annoying. It's, it's just the way that it is. But we're moving on now, thank God, because that was a really annoying room. So this one here, I actually can't remember what I did with this room, which is really bad. I think that this was going to be like, I'm just looking at it now, letting it come back to me. I did actually film this, build it like a little while ago. So this bedroom's very plain, I do know that. So it doesn't like stick out as much in my mind. But I think for this one, I was going not so much like a spare room, but maybe like an older child, like an adult, like a young adult living in the home, or even just like a spare bedroom, because it is a very plain room. There's not like a whole heap of clutter in it. And yeah, I think that there are 2 more bedrooms. So this is actually a 5-bedroom house, I'm pretty sure. At the start I said that it was 3, but it's definitely got more bedrooms. I think it's got 5. But I reckon as well, like if you wanted to, you could turn any of these bedrooms up the top here. You could turn them into like something else. Like if you just like knock down one of the walls in the hallway and made it like an open area, you could put like some sort of like sitting room or playroom up here. Yeah, so still like looking at this is really bad. I actually can't quite remember. Yeah, I don't think this would be a guest room. I think I must have just been going for like a young adult who's saving up to move out of home. That's what I'm just going to say it is now, because it's kind of like, when you get to a certain age and you're just like not into like super crazy bedroom furniture anymore. And I'm looking around my bedroom and I'm 24 and like I have clutter everywhere. So look, I don't know what I was thinking with this bedroom. It's just a bedroom. It happens sometimes. You don't always have an idea. So it's hard to talk about it though when you don't remember what it's about and you kind of don't remember building it. Because I'm just waiting for it to finish, because I know that there is like a second bedroom here and I really ended up liking it. Oh, I remember actually, I put these pillows on the end of the bed because I felt like it looked a little bit too plain otherwise. And I've been doing that a lot, where I put these, where I like, rise up those pillows. And I've been putting them on the ends of beds. And I just think that looks really cool because, I don't know, pillows on beds is a pretty popular thing to have. Now I think if I'm correct, I can't remember. This must be yes, this is the teenage boys' room. And I lied again, there are only 3 bedrooms up here. So it's a 4-bedroom house. I'm getting confused. That last bedroom really threw me off. And this is a bedroom I really liked though. This is a teen boys' room. And I love doing teen boys' rooms. I just love giving them kind of like older style brown furniture and like lots of like sports related and TV related like posters and stuff. And I don't know what it is. I really like doing boys' bedrooms. So I think that this one turned out pretty cool. I end up putting, like heaps of clutter on that desk and heaps of clutter on that table there. And I end up putting a TV as well on that table. I think you might see me putting a bit of clutter, but I remove all of that and I end up putting a TV there because I'm like, what teenager doesn't want to have a TV in their bedroom? When I think of like teenage boys, I don't know, I always just think of them like up in their room playing like video games. And it's really funny because that was me as a teenage girl. In fact, it's me as a female adult. So this is all just like silly stereotypes. Yeah, but I had like the megaphone and stuff there. And then I just get rid of all of it and put the TV in. And I also end up putting in like a little lounge chair. And I just kind of like imagine, you know, playing computer games, playing video games, and sitting on your lounge chair and whatever. And I put that Bob Pancakes painting up there. I really like that painting. I think it's really, really cool. So yeah, there's the TV going up. And I did leave the books there with like the cologne and stuff on top of it. And yeah, I really like this room. I think it's one of my favourite bedrooms in the house, that's for sure. So we are about to hit screenshots, probably like a few more minutes, but you know, nearly at screenshots and I don't want to talk into them like I usually do. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I really hope to catch you all in another video, and I really hope that you enjoyed this one. So leave a comment, leave a like, just do all of that fun, loving stuff. And thank you so much for watching. I already said that. I need to figure out my intro and I'm going to go now. Bye, guys.